Hello everyone and welcome back to another custom spotlight. Back at the station today, although now it has 3 platforms as opposed to the 2 that it had in previous episodes. But yeah, I'm just desperately going to record a bunch of these custom spotlights all in one go. So if the station doesn't look that much different, just know that I'm recording a bunch of these all in one go so that we can... Since I've established in a previous video that I might be moving out of this house sometime soon, I want to get a backlog of videos already recorded. So let's just jump right into the custom. So today we're going to be starting what I call IDW collection. For today, we have 2 characters that hail from the IDW comics. So, here they come. So, here we have Surge and Kit. Now, for those of you who don't know who Surge and Kit are, I don't blame you. They are not present characters outside of the IDW comics. So, it's very possible, and I'd say likely, you don't know who they are. So, brief recap. So in the IDW comic, for a brief period of time, there was a time when Dr. Eggman was working with had this guy working for him called Dr. Starline. Dr. Starline was sort of he worshipped Eggman. However, eventually he came to realize that his idol wasn't exactly as he thought he was. Not in the sense that he found out he was evil after not knowing he was. No. He knew he was evil. But he thought he was more well coordinated with his plans than he was. So, as such, Dr. Starline took the initiative to separate from Eggman and make his own evil plan. And these 2 characters were at the forefront of it. They were animals they were Mobian creatures that he kidnapped and turned into sort of bionic, like, I don't know if bionic's the word, but like they were Mobian animal creatures turned into cyborg human. Turned into cyborg versions of themselves. If that makes any sense. The IDW comics can go to some weird places, but aside from that, I think the fandom, the Sonic community, pretty unanimously thinks that Surge and Kit are pretty cool characters and deserve to exist outside the comics. So, and I agree. I would 100% love to see these characters appear outside the comics. I hope they're in that new Sonic Blitz card game. Or Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. That'd be great. But anyway, let's talk about these models. So let's start with Surge. So Surge was the... Fun fact. I have had this Surge model completed for roughly like 2, 3, 4 months. Like, ever since this was one of the customs that I've had sitting in the backlog for so long. And I just haven't shown her off because I thought there were some other characters people might want to see beforehand. And even now, I'm very apprehensive about showing this model off because there's still so many characters that I haven't completed yet. Like, I don't have Metal Sonic. I don't have as of the time I'm recording this, I haven't finished Team Chaotix, but as of the time you're seeing this, they will have the last video for them will have already come out. She's a model that I completed way before I anticipated completing her. And as such, like, now I have this I had to complete so many characters before I got to even show her off. To preface, like, how long ago we're talking about, I had her completed, like, a month before I completed Shadow. I really did not anticipate Surge being that easy of a model to do. Before I even owned the chassis to finish Shadow, I had already made Surge completely. Yeah. Crazy world, eh? So, speaking of Shadow, well, I have him on the set, actually. I'll put him over here. Surge's character is basically supposed to be like, he's like Shadow, she's like Shadow, she's like Metal, Sonic, she's like Silver to a degree. The intention here is that she is supposed to be a rival to Sonic. Man, haven't heard that one before. But they do play up the fact that this is something that happens so frequently in her stories. Because Sonic literally even says at one point, like, I'm used to this shtick by now. But, Surge is different in the sense that I think she actually canonically is faster than Sonic. Because she claims in one of the books, in one of the pages from the books, I'll see if I can get it to flash on the screen, but I'm not sure. She literally says that Sonic's speed of sound is nothing compared to her speed of light. I'm not completely sure what exactly that means. I don't know if they're talking like in the literal sense, like she literally has speed of light, or if it's supposed to be like a metaphor, but like Sonic's speed will never beat hers, or something like that. I don't know. She also has a lot of lore behind her, but honestly, I don't want to reveal a lot of it because I think honestly, I just want you guys to go read the IDW comics and meet Surge for yourself. So instead of talking about her character, let's just talk more about the model in general. All I'll say about her character for now is go read the comics. You'll love it. You may have to trudge through a lot to get to Surge. Like, there's a lot of setup you have to get to before you actually meet Surge. But honestly, I think you'd enjoy it in the end. In the end, I think you'd really enjoy it. So, go read the comics, and let's now talk about what this is. So, Surge is a Tenric, which obviously is not a hedgehog, so I'm sure a lot of you are wondering, why did you make Surge out of a Thomas when I've established that only characters that are hedgehogs will be Thomases? Well, I did want to put a distinction on it that even though she is not a hedgehog, she is like she is like a copy of Sonic in a way. So that's why she is like a Thomas design. However, I decided to mix it up by making her a Trackmaster 2 Thomas. So there is that definition. I guess you could say it's a lot like what I did with Amy. Because if I'm to pull her out of her box right now and ignore the fact she has no wheels. Amy is also made from a Trackmaster 2 Thomas, so I guess you could say that I made that distinction for Amy as well, which I guess kind of works considering her design is different than Sonic and Shadow and to a degree Silver. But yeah, I figured since she is supposed to be a copy of Sonic, it would make sense to make her an E2. But I don't know. So I painted this in a very bright, I think this was a neon green. I'm not sure. I gave her black lining and the number 21. In reference to the fact that her character debuted in the Sonic comics in 2021. So, yeah, keeping in line with the years the Sonic characters debuted in being their numbers, now we have 21 for Surge. And I think that's the same reason why I didn't give Kit a number. Because he was introduced the same time as Surge. And it wouldn't make sense for his number to be different, and it wouldn't make sense for him to have the same number, so I just didn't give him one. I gave her yellow wheels in reference to, I believe Surge has yellow pants. I can't remember if this is her pants or her shoes. I don't remember. Actually, the more I think about it, no, it's definitely her pants. Yeah, her pants are yellow. The reason I didn't do much with this chassis is because it's the only Trackmaster 2 Rebecca chassis I have currently. And I really didn't want to ruin it. Someday when I get a Play Rail Rebecca, though, I will go in and completely and do some more with this chassis when it becomes a solely Surge chassis. Because like I said, I plan on getting a Play Rail Rebecca at some point. And when that happens, I'll do more with this chassis then, because then I won't have to worry about swapping it back and forth. But this has to act as both a Rebecca chassis and a Surge chassis, so. Also, I haven't mentioned it yet, but her face, I think that's based off of a 3D render I saw of Surge. I don't know if it's official or not, but I love the evil teeth that they did for Surge, so I thought it would be fun to do that for the face. I've considered doing a more mellow one too, because it would be weird if she always has this sort of evil glint. But we'll see. Now let's talk Kit. So, Kit was finished a little bit later after Surge. And fun fact, this is the same wheelbase that Audrey Thomas uses. And it was made for this engine. This engine, Kit is the reason why I even made this chassis. And then I used it for Audrey Thomas after the fact. Now I'm sure you may be wondering, what is on his front? This is something I bought from Custom Trackmasters on eBay. It is a 3D print of Gordon's buffers from from the episode Oh the Indignity. I bought 2 of them. I don't want to reveal where the other one is, because that's for a special video coming out in October, I believe. I don't want to reveal where those are, but this one I bought for Kit. Because I thought I need to distinguish Kit from Tails. Because as Surge is supposed to be a copy of Sonic, Kit was supposed to be a copy of Tails. So I had to make sure they were distinguishable in terms of like their bases, because obviously I think it actually would make more sense for Kit because he canonically I think is a fox. But I wanted to distinguish him a bit better, and I thought giving him buffers with chevron stripes would actually help him a little bit. They do look a little bit big for him, but I think ultimately I'm fine with it. I'm fine with this this guy having slightly big buffers, as long as it looks decent, and I think it does. As you can see, his shell keeps popping off. That's because he doesn't have the little clips. I believe this is made from the original CGI player El Percy I bought. I believe that's what this shell is. Because if you guys remember, back when I did the unboxing video of Lady and Stepney and the Capsule Butch, I also bought this new CGI player El Percy because my other one broke. I think this shell is actually the CGI player El Percy shell, the other one I owned. I'm not sure if it is. It might it might be the play. It might be the Tommy one I had before with the model face. Actually, there's an easy way for me to find out. Oh, this is the Tommy one. Yeah, this is the Tommy one. The reason I know that is because the Tommy one had the face molded on, and you could see where I cut it off to get this face to sit. I know it's not the best Kit face, but I did my best. I tried to make it like a neutral expression, but then I gave it the angry eyebrows, and it just looks odd. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention about both him and Serge is I added little IDW lettering on the back of them. In universe, it's like a company they work for. Like, it's like a company that in universe is probably like a company that Dr. Starline bought specifically to hide the fact that he made Surgeon Kit. Like, it was like a cover-up company, and he called it IDW, which is why they have the lettering on the side. That's just what I'm thinking of, because I think only these guys have that. I have a couple other IDW characters, and I don't think any of them have IDW on the side of them except these two. I thought it was fitting because they were my first ones. I don't think there's much else to really say about Kit. He's basically a blue Percy with this buffer beam I added, which is removable. So it's just held in by a bit of blue tack. It's designed so you can slip it over the buffers. So you just push it on and boom. I think I'm going to keep... I did that solely because I have to swap this chassis back and forth between Audrey Thomas. So I wanted the buffers to be removable so Audrey Thomas doesn't just have these big, bulky diesel buffers on the front. So, yeah, I think that's basically all I have to say about Surgeon Kit. I completed them freaking months ago, and I still can't believe it's taken me this long to get to them. I had some other characters I wanted to get to first, though. Like Shadow, Rouge, Omega, Silver, Team Chaotix, stuff like that. So yeah, I'm happy to finally show you guys these, because I just know these guys have just been chilling in a box for the past like 2 months, and it's about time I finally got them out for their time on camera. So I think that's it for now. I'll see you all in the next video, which will be on another batch of IDW Sonic characters. Yeah, I have more of them to show. Alright. Goodbye, everybody.